turbine. A reaction turbine, and so the reaction turbine, if that is R is equal to 0.5, that is 50% degree of reaction turbine, and trying to build a relationship between, for this case, a relationship between your R and epsilon. So this is one special case what we are supposed to look into it. Okay, for a 50% degree of reaction turbine, so R is equal to 0.5. So this is what we will expect. That is alpha 1 is equal to theta 2, alpha 2 is equal to beta 1. I'll show this. What is it actually? And VR1 is equal to V2 and VR2 is equal to V. Okay, this is what we will have. What is it actually? So let's write the velocity triangle and try to understand this. So I have a combined velocity triangle. It will be something like this. I have a combined velocity triangle. This is my U, and I can have the corresponding velocity. Right. So this is in this direction, V1, and this is my VR1, and similarly I can have this my V2 and this is my VR2. So what is this actually? What is this 50% reaction turbine? Say my alpha 1, this is my alpha 1, and where is my beta 2? See, I have my beta 2. See, I have my beta 2. See, if I try to draw the corresponding, complete my velocity triangle like this. Let me take some other color. Complete this triangle. Not to the scale, so even angles there may be a little bit. So alpha 1 is equal to, so this is my beta 2, and I have my, this is my alpha 2, which will be equal to beta 1. See, it's not to the scale. Just assume that this both the angles, this alpha 1 and beta 2, alpha 2 and beta 1, both are same. If for this condition, what will happen? My VR2, this will be equal to, VR2 will be equal to your corresponding V1, and your VR1 is equal to V2. So this is the condition. So for this one, so what will be this one? So if I try to put the corresponding velocities, what will happen? This will be my VW1 and this will be VW2, and this is my VF1 and this is my VF2. So I've written a velocity triangle. There is a combined velocity triangle for an axial flow machine. See, what is this X? If I try to call this as, I try to call this as X. What is that X? X is nothing but VW1 minus U. VW1 minus U. So for an axial flow machine, my U1 is equal to U2 is equal to U. U1 is equal to U2 is equal to U. So this is for an axial flow machine. Now let's try to, so go back and we have derived this expression. What is the expression for utilization factor? So expression for utilization factor. This already we have done the derivation, that is epsilon is equal to V1 square minus V2 square divided by V1 square minus R into V2 square. Now, we know what is the value of R here. R it is 0.5. So what we'll do, we'll substitute for R is equal to half. That is, if I substitute R is equal to 0.5 or half, so this expression can write it as V1 square minus V2 square divided by V1 square minus half into V2 square. So let me call this as some expression number 1. Now let us go to this velocity triangle. If I go to the velocity triangle, so what is my VR1 square? I can write from the velocity triangle, that is for the one, that is inlet triangle. At one is inlet triangle, I can write, so you bring with my trigonometric principle, VR1 square is equal to, that is VF1 square plus your x square, VF1 square by x square. What is x actually? I can write it as, substitute for x, so this I can write VR1 square is equal to VF1 square plus VW1 minus U whole square. Now expand this VW1 minus U whole square. So this is a whole square. So A minus B whole square formula, if I use it, so this will be VF1 square as it is. This will be VW1 square plus U square. Fine. So A minus B, so A square plus B square minus 2AB. That is minus 2 into VW1 into U1. So this is my VR1 square. Let me call that as an expression number 2. Okay. At the same time, for a degree of reaction turbine, see, if this angles, when my beta 2 and beta 2 is equal to alpha 1, or when my alpha 2 is equal to beta 1, so I can replace the corresponding VR2 by VA1, or I can replace VR1 by V2, because this is evident from the triangle. This is evident from the velocity triangle. If I construct a velocity triangle to the scale, and when R is equal to 0.5, these are the conditions, these are the important conditions where my alpha 1, that is inlet flow angle, will be equal to your outlet blade angle, or outlet flow angle will be equal to your inlet blade angle. So this is the condition. So if I go and look into that conditions, 2 I can write it as, so instead of VR1 I can write it as V2 square. Fine. So what is this VF1 and VW1 square? If you go and check it, actually this VF1 square and your corresponding VW1. So VW1 square and VF1 square, I can write it as V1 square. So I can write it as V2 square is equal to V1 square, because V1 square is equal to VF1 square plus your VW1 square plus U square minus 2. What is my VW? VW is equal to V1 cos alpha, or I can write cos alpha 1 is equal to, if I go and look at this, what is my cos alpha 1? VW1 divided by V1. So VW1 divided by V1. Okay, so I can write VW1 is equal to V1 cos alpha 1, or I can write, wherever I have the VW1, I can write it as V1 cos alpha 1. I can write it as 2U into V1 cos alpha 1. Let me call this as expression number 3. So what I have done actually, I have written for the expression for VR, then converted it to, so I want this expression in terms of V2. So why I have done this actually? If you look at the utilization factor, either it is in terms of V1 or V2. So I got the expression for V2. So what I will do now, substitute.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, how did you replace VR1 by V2
VR1?
and V2?
No. See, when I look at this triangle, see, when my alpha 1 is equal to beta 2 and alpha 2 is equal to, so this triangle will be equal. See, these triangles will be equal. This triangle, no? This triangles, see this particular thing. So whatever, sorry, my VR1 will be equal to V2 and this V1 is equal to VR2. So based on my triangle, if I call this as something like A, B, C, D, E, F. So now you put your trigonometric principles and see. So if I consider the triangle ACF or ACB, this particular triangle, if I do that, because of the angles being, this is only valid for R is equal to 0.5. That's why I told it's a special case. That's why I told that it's a special case where when my R is equal to 0.5 degree or 50% reaction turbine, this condition will prevail. If my R is equal to 0.6, I can't use this.
Okay, sir.
This is only for R is equal to 0.5. That's why I told today when I'm going to deal only with the special cases. Now I got this V2. See, V2 square is equal to V1 square plus U square minus 2U V1 cos alpha. Now substitute this. Substitute for V2 square in your utilization factor, epsilon. So what it is actually, or I can write it as V2 square by V1 square. If I write it, actually what it will be V1 square plus U square minus 2U V1 cos alpha 1 divided by V1 square. This I am simplifying, that's it. So when I substitute, it will become much easier. So this will be 1 minus, if I take phi is equal to U by V1, I can write this as phi square minus 1 V1 will go off and it will be U by V, that is phi into cos alpha 1. So this is V2 square by V1 square. If I call this as equation number 4. So wherever I have V2 square by V1 square, or I can write either substitute for this particular thing, or I can go and modify this. So I can go and modify this. So what I will do, I can take V1 square outside. So this will become 1 minus V2 square by V1 square, or V1 square, if I take it outside, this will be 1 minus half into V2 square by V1 square. So this, if I call this as equation number 1. So either substitute for V2 or substitute for V2 square by V1 square. That's it. If I substitute, what will happen to your epsilon? So epsilon is equal to, so it is 1 minus of 1 minus phi square minus, so minus of minus, this will become plus 2 phi cos alpha 1. Yeah, 1 minus of, okay, let me substitute it, then that will be better. Then I'll simplify it. So this is 1 minus phi square minus 2 phi cos alpha 1. So I'll do that, open the bracket in the next step. This will be 1 minus, I have 1 upon of 1 minus pi square minus 2 phi cos alpha 1. Now I will try to open the bracket. This will be 1 minus 1. So minus of minus, this will become plus. So this will be plus pi square. So minus of minus, this will be plus. This will be 2 phi cos alpha 1 divided by 1 minus of pi square. This will be pi square by 2 plus, so this will be, so pi by 2 will go up. This will be pi into cos alpha 1. So now, so without further simplification, that's it. The same expression, further simplification. Simplify, because already we got the expression. This only, so 1 plus 1 minus 1 will go off. I am left with phi square made a mistake here. Yeah, we made a mistake here. This is plus phi. This is plus phi. This is plus phi. So that this will be minus. Okay. Plus into minus. So this will be 2 phi cos alpha 1 minus pi square phi cos alpha 1 into phi square divided by, so this will be, if I take 2 as the LCM, if I take 2 as the LCM, so what will happen? So 2 I can take it to the numerator. So this will become 1 plus 2 into phi cos alpha 1 minus pi square. So this 2, if I take it inside, so this will be 2 pi square. So 2, yeah, 2 into 2 phi, yeah. So epsilon is equal to, I can write it as 2 into. So what I will do is, so I will add, this is all further simplification, that's it, so that I can get the corresponding expression. I can write it as add plus and minus 2. If I do that, so this will be 2 into 2, it is 4 pi. So this will be 2 plus, so what I'm going to do, add and subtract 2. Add and subtract 2 in the numerator. Add and subtract 2 in the numerator. This is all simplification, that's it. Nothing else. Already we got the expression, just to get the one particular form we are trying to do. So 2, so this will be 2 into 2, it is 4 pi cos alpha 1 minus phi square. So then minus 2. So if I take 2 outside, so take 2 outside, it will be like this. Yeah. Let me open the next step. I'll write. Next step I'll write. This will be 2 pi square. This will be 2 pi square. This will be minus 2 pi square minus 2. Yeah. So my denominator will be 1 plus 2 pi cos alpha 1 minus pi square as it is. So numerator further can be simplified. I can simplify it further. So what I will do, if I take 2 outside, this will become 1 plus 2 phi cos alpha 1 minus pi square minus 2 divided by 1 plus 2 pi cos alpha 1 phi square. So what I will do actually, so this I can simplify in such a way that, so if I 2 minus 2 divided by 1 plus 2 phi cos alpha 1 minus phi square. So this will be your final expression. Just I'm simplifying, that's it. Nothing else. If I call this as expression number 5, this expression is more than sufficient. So the 6, what I call, this is a simplified form of 5. That's it. So why this particular? So this is the epsilon. Using this expression, I'm trying to show that you have epsilon, you have phi, you have alpha. So if I can easily calculate the utilization factor if I know the flow angle and the speed ratio. This is only for a condition where R is equal to 0.5. This is a special case. Sometimes they may ask this. Show that for R is equal to 0.5, your utilization factor is a function of only your flow angle and your speed ratio. So for that, actually, we are giving this as a, we are trying to get an expression. Is that clear? This is one special case, what we are looking at. So we have one more special case. We have one more special case where we try to express the angles in terms of air angles actually. That is for an pump, axial flow compressor. This is for a turbine. So we have seen for an impulse case, we have seen R is equal to 0, we got some expression. But R is equal to 0.5, so we have to get this expression. So this is what we have done. So for an axial flow machine, for R is equal to 0.5, and we are able to draw the combined velocity triangles, and for a condition where we have this alpha is equal to beta, alpha 1 is equal to beta 2, alpha 2 is equal to beta 1, and for those two conditions we got VR1 in terms of V2 or VR2 in terms of V1. So this condition will prevail. This, if you draw the velocity triangle to the scale, to the exact scale with all the angles, these conditions will be met. These conditions, whatever written, no, these conditions will be met. And for these conditions, just simply take the expression for your utilization factor, which is E1 by V1 square minus V2 square divided by V1 square minus R into V2 square. Substitute for V2. Substitute for V2, you will get it. This is one of the special cases. Yeah. So similar, we have one more special case for a compressor or a pump. That is in terms of work done. Okay. So what is it actually? Work done, or you can call it as energy also, E. Few times either it can be W or E for an axial flow machine, for an axial compressor or pump. Okay. This is the case. So what is actually, we know this, what is the expression for the work done? Already we know that work done is given by VW2 minus VW1 into U. I think in a couple of textbooks, they are given this as VW2 minus VW1 into U by GC. So GC is the term which is used in CGS units. So, but in SI, the value of GC is 1. It's a unity, so you can just neglect it. Now, so what out my if I take the axial flow machine, if I take an axial flow machine, so it will be something like this. So just I'm drawing the axial flow machine. This is the blade. So we have the leading edge and we have the trailing edge. So I will try to draw only with respect to the rotor. So I'm not doing any what will happen with respect to the stator. So what will happen here? The flow will enter like this. So for this condition, the flow will enter. So if I try to draw the velocity triangle for this, so this will be my VR. They call this as a VR1, and your V1 will be coming somewhere like this. So V1 will be coming something like this. V1, and this will be your corresponding U. This will be corresponding U. So U1 is equal to U2, this being an axial flow machine. So if I try to draw the corresponding, if I try to resolve the components of V1, so this will be my VF1. VF1 is equal to your axial flow, this thing, and your corresponding. So this is the compressor. So this will be moving in this direction. So this will be my VW1. This will be my VW. This is the velocity with which the fluid is entering. I think some textbooks, no, they can show the same velocity triangle. They will be showing like this. So that's also correct. What they do is actually they will show here, and they will try to take the U here, and they will try to show the. So this will be my VR1. They will try to show V1 here, and they try to show U here. Fine, this is the direction, and this as my VF1, and this as my VW1. Both are fine. So there is no wrong. I can't call that the one shown on the right hand side is wrong, the one shown on the left hand side. So both the triangles are correct. Either I can write like this, or I can write in both the ways. Both are correct. So both are inlet velocity triangle. This is the inlet velocity triangle. So here, see, you have this option. See, they call this as air angles. So gamma 1, gamma 2. So they call, see, if this is my beta 1, this is my alpha 1, or I can show here also alpha 1, beta 1. Okay, so I can have, this is gamma 1, gamma 2. So gamma 1 and gamma 2, they are called as air angles. Gamma 1 and gamma 2, they are called as air angles. So similarly, I can have the corresponding outlet triangle. So what I can draw the velocity outlet triangle, it will be something like this. So something which is going out. So this will be my VR2, and this will be my V2, and I can close it with the corresponding U, and I can draw the components of the V2. That is, this will be my VF2, and this will be my VW2, and this will be my U. So it's only U actually, because it's axial flow machine. And I have my beta 2 here and alpha 2 here. Here also I can have the air angles. So if I call this as gamma 3, and this I'm calling it as gamma 4. So gamma 1, so if you want, you can call See, gamma 1 and gamma 2, gamma 3 and gamma 4. There are the air angles, corresponding air angles. They call it as air angles. So this is one special case where they try to ask us to obtain the expression for work done in terms of air angles. Okay. Now, if I consider the triangle, if I call this as, so either let me call it as O, A, B, C, fine. And similarly, so I'm called this as P, Q, R. Yes, just to give some kind of a clarification, that's it. I'm giving some numbers O, A, B, C, and P, Q, R, S. So now if I look at it, consider the triangle. So let me write it here itself. From the triangle OAC. If I consider the triangle OAC, what is it actually? What is my U? U I can write it as, what is my U? U is equal to AB plus BC. Agree? So what is my tan gamma 1? So tan gamma 1 I can write it as VF1 divided by your corresponding, see, tan gamma 1 I can write it as tan gamma 1 I can write it as your corresponding opposite side by this projection. So I can write it as tan gamma 1 because this being 90 degrees. So tan gamma 1 I can write it as your VF or AB. So AB divided by your VF1. So similarly, I can write tan gamma 2. I can write it as your BC divided by your VF1. I think some books they call it as VA. Instead of VA as the flow, they call it as VA, that is axial velocity, flow velocity in the axial direction. So VA, that's also fine. So now I can write AB is equal to VF1 tan gamma 1, and similarly I can write BC is equal to VF1 tan gamma 2. Fine. So if I substitute in this equation, let me call that as equation number 2. Substitute for U if I do that. So U is equal to VF1 tan gamma 1 plus VF1 tan gamma 2. So let me call this as expression number 3. So can I do the same thing for the outlet velocity triangle? So similarly, from the outlet velocity triangle P, Q, S. If I consider that, there also have U is equal to, what is U? U is equal to QR plus RS, or I can write once again, if you call this as expression number 4, so I can write tan gamma 3 is equal to QR divided by VF2, and tan gamma 4 is equal to RS divided by VF2, or I can write QR is equal to VF2 into tan gamma 2, and RS is equal to VF2 into tan gamma 3 and tan gamma 4. So if I substitute it, actually I can write U is equal to VF2 into tan gamma 3 plus Vf2 into tan gamma 4. So what is it actually? What is the source significance of this particular thing? If you look into this actually, now 3 and 4, I can write, see, I can write 3 and 4 as some kind of a relationship. Fine. So if I try to tell that if for my flow Vf1 and Vf2 both are same, if my Vf1 and Vf2 both are same for a condition, if from equation 3, yeah, from 3 and 5 for Vf1 is equal to Vf2, what will happen? I can equate your 3 and 5. What will happen? So this will be Vf1 tan gamma 1 plus Vf1 tan gamma 2 is equal to Vf2 tan gamma 3 plus Vf2 tan gamma 4. Some books I have seen. So instead of tan gamma 1, 2, 3, 4, they have taken tan gamma 0, 1, 2, 3. So that's also fine. So what I can write? So from this I can write tan gamma 1 plus tan gamma 2 is equal to tan gamma 3 plus tan gamma 4. Or I can write, I can take gamma 1 minus gamma 3. I can take, so why is it so? I'll show you. So tan gamma 1 minus tan gamma 3 is equal to, okay, tan gamma 4 minus tan gamma 2. What is the significance of this particular thing? What is my, if you go back and see, what is VW1? So what is my VW1? So let me call this as some expression number 6. Then we'll come back to this. Let's go to the triangles. Let's go to the velocity triangles. What is my, you have tan gamma 1. So I can write, where is my VW1? See, you have the corresponding, I can write, see, you have the VW1, you have BC is equal to VW1. See, I can write your corresponding BC is also equal to VW1. So your VW1 is equal to Vf1 into tan gamma 1. Can I write? See, if I consider the triangle OBC, if I consider triangle OBC, I can write from the triangle, for the triangle OBC, if I consider, I can write tan gamma 2, sorry, tan gamma 2, I can write it as, tan gamma 2, I can write it as VW1 divided by your corresponding VF1. Fine. Now similarly, if I come to the outlet triangle here, if I consider the triangle PRS, for the triangle PRS, if I do that same thing, tan gamma 4 is equal to, so tan gamma 4 is equal to VW2 divided by your corresponding VF2, or VF1 is equal to VF2. What is it actually? So now I'm trying to build a relationship between, so I can write VW1 is equal to VF1 into tan gamma 2, or I can write here VW2 is equal to VF2 into tan gamma 4. Okay, Now, what is the expression for your work done? It is VW2 minus VW1 into U. I am trying to get an expression in terms of air angles. If I know the corresponding flow velocities, VF1 or VF2, I am trying to write a corresponding whirl velocities or tangential flow velocities in terms of your flow velocities and your air angles. Fine. So sometimes they may ask this. So instead of work done expression, so this is a derivation. It's just a mathematical derivation. So what is the advantage of it? What are the significances of this? We'll see when we come to axial flow compressors in the next chapter. So here, this one special, we'll treat it as a special case and try to see it. What is it actually? The significance, everything we'll study in the coming classes. Fine. Now, if I look at this particular thing, so I can write the work done as, so already we know this, that is your, what is my VW2? So VW2 is equal to, or VF1 is equal to, say I can write it as U into VF into tan gamma 4 minus tan gamma 1. So this will be my expression for work done. What is this gamma 4 and gamma 1? What is this gamma 4 and gamma 1? They are the, I can write it as, they are the absolute, I call it as air angles, no, absolute angles made by the absolute inlet and outlet velocities with respect to axial direction. They are the absolute angles made by the absolute inlet and, sorry, should be 1 and 4. Inlet means 1, outlet is 4. So inlet and outlet velocities with respect to axial direction. Look at this. I'm writing with respect to axial direction. I'll come to the velocity triangle try to explain with respect to axial direction. So what is the axial direction? In this direction, look at this direction. So if this is the see this alpha, this is gamma 1 and gamma 2, gamma 3 and gamma 4. They are the angles made in this direction. This is the direction of the flow. Look at this. So now I have this, see, I have this, call it as V1, and I have this something like V2. These are my two and four. This is 2 and 4, not 1. This should be 2 and 4. Yeah, 2. So 2 and 4. So this is my gamma 2. This is my gamma 4. If I take this is the flow direction, the fluid is flowing in fluid. This is the fluid flow direction. So in the fluid flow direction, so what is the corresponding velocity? The velocity is making an angle, and it is the direct information with respect to the energy transfer rather than your blade angles. So all this is we used to look at the blade angles as a reference. We had flow angles as a reference. Is there any other reference where we can study means what is the angle it makes? So this we can study only in case of an axial flow machine. That's why it's called as a special case. But in radial flow direction, see, because it's radial flow direction, automatically beta will come. That's why we studied the beta. Radial flow machines, beta plays a major important role. Beta 2, so effect of beta 2. We had backward curved vane, we had a radial curved vane, we had the forward curved vane, all those things. But we don't have such situations in case of axial flow machines. So in axial flow machines, if you want to study what is the effect of this, the direct impact of it, if you want to study, so we need to take something, the flow velocity in the particular and the flow direction, and with respect to that, can we place something either absolute, or we can go with relative also, but absolute, or if you want to study with respect to relative, then automatically this will be gamma 2, gamma 1 and gamma 3. So in the flow direction, we have something called as air, those are called as air angles, which there are absolute angles, either with, so absolute inlet angle, absolute angles, either it can be with respect to inlet or exit velocities, or it can be with respect to, we have other gamma 1 and gamma 3, they are with respect to relative velocities. So which gives a direct impact of it, which gives a direct impact on your studies. How my work done is impacted by the corresponding angles. So what is it actually? Why it's so important actually? So now, if I try to see, you have the flow angle. All this is we used to study with respect to the flow angle, the alpha. So instead of alpha, alpha is something like which is made with respect to your direction of rotation. If I draw a tangent to the wheel and try to see that what is the angle it makes it in. We don't have any reference with respect to the flow direction. So in axial flow machine, so if I know this gamma 1, gamma 2, or gamma 3, or gamma 4, directly I'll be trying to build a relationship with respect to the velocities in the flow directions. I'll try to get a relationship, and that expression I got it here. So where you have work done is equal to u, you have your peripheral velocities, and vf. See, maybe there may be a cases where vf1 may not be equal to vf2. For that also we can see. Already we have seen, instead of taking vf1 is equal to vf2, if vf2 is reduced by some, there is a reduction in vf2 because of the friction, I can put it in corresponding equation 3 and equation 5, and I can substitute it. So whatever may be, I'm trying to, using this particular as a special case, trying to build a relationship between your air angles and your work. So these are the two special cases which I told we'll be looking into that. And we can get a similar thing, we can do it for degree of reaction also. So you can take that as an homework or something. So you can take that as an